This video is going to be a bit weird. This video is made for adult collectors because bro has a back worse than mine.
Oh, you idiot. Now this won't peg in, and now this won't peg in. Pain.
So this has been probably one of the hardest videos to make this year, and that's not because this toy is difficult to make a video on, like a complex third-party toy, or time-consuming like a RoboSun toy. It's just more sits in that ground of, I just don't want to mess with it, so I don't want to make a video about it. I have to, because TF Safari very graciously sent this over to me, and I'm going to do the video. Obviously, I'm here doing the damn video. But yeah, let's get the little segment out of the way first. This was sent to me by TF Safari. They've got a wide range of other better third-party and knockoff products. I would recommend this one and this one. I would also recommend this one. Like, there's so many other better options out there than this thing. And if you use code ThatToyGuySpecial, 3% off. Yes, I know. The code has also been reset, by the way, so there's plenty of uses left to it. But you save a couple dollars on any purchase, which is always not that bad. So thanks for sending this my way, TF Safari. And now back onto the actual video. I'm very sorry. This is a Downscale DX9 Omega Supreme redecoed as Omega Sentinel, or Guardian Robot as they called the official Hasbro one. And the downscale part is a problem. Downscaling, in my experience, has never usually worked well. When a toy is designed initially, the joints are done in such a way that it fits the size and the plastic and all that sort of stuff. But when you change that size and materials without changing the joints or the tolerances accordingly, it doesn't work. And this was designed originally to be massive, have thicker materials and ratchets. The downscaled one removes all of that, and it's just pain. So this bit in the script is literally just labeled like show problems. So that goes to show you that there's a lot, and the camera's still at a downward angle. That's not good, and my size comparisons are in my way. Move, legendary Optimus Prime. Okay. Omega Sentinel, Guardian Robot, Blue Boy, whatever you want to call him. He has a lot of poopy problems. And there's one thing I want to preface about a third-party KO like this having problems. There will be people who will buy this and not have a single problem at all. And then there will be me who buys it and has all the problems in the world. And that is because these things don't go through the same level of quality control checks as, say, a Hasbro thing. Because they are smaller companies, they can't afford all the blah, 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 the whole thing. I'm not going to get too into it, but just know that quality control checks sometimes are difficult to do on toys like this because they're trying to make them as cheap as possible. This was only $70, right? And the new age one's what, 300 and something? But because of that, you're going to get toys that come off the line that are very, very good, and then the same exact copy of that toy, but being extremely shit. And this is extremely shit. So it's a very big gamble. Is his chin cracked? No, it's a seam. I thought his chin cracked. I was about to start freaking out. Speaking of cracks, that's a weird way to start a sentence. I should probably address this before I go through anything else because I keep getting questions about it. This is eczema. You've probably all seen eczema before. That's what this is. I've had a couple people tell me to cover it, but I can't. It has to breathe. If I cover it, it starts to open and then it starts to become sores and it becomes even worse. So I leave it out. You're just going to have to deal with it. Anyways, moving on to the toy. I appreciate everybody's concern who are like, oh, are you okay? Did you like burn your hand or something? It's eczema. It happens every year. It goes away. I'm annoyed, but I'm used to it. Whatever. Just don't tell someone to like get rid of it. That's rude. So now back to the problems of Omega and not my own problems. Where do I start? This arm. Let's start with this arm. It is very, very loose. It's very, very loose. Like yeah, it's not great. Let's go here. Oh, now it's fine. But over here, it's very loose. It also, okay, there's another problem. These don't click in to place, these arms. They don't click, they just slide. So you'll be posing it and like you're like, oh, this is, and then that goes. They just come off. Oh my good God. Stand up straight, man. Another problem is these fuck it. These back fins right here, these little track sections, they are enclosed in this little, well, enclosure at the back. Basically, this wraps around, these peg into the back, and then this sort of closes up to hold them in place. But if you notice, there's a very slight gap right there. And because of that gap, they come loose while they're still in the enclosure. Like, I know I deliberately did that, but that's just to show you that they can come off while the enclosure is closed. Because you'll be messing with it, you're like, oh, great, and then they start wobbling and then they fall out. That's kind of annoying. Now, the biggest complaint I have is that there's no ratchet here, so he constantly does this when you're trying to mess with it. And the crotch is not properly sandwiched together, but no matter how hard I try, it does not stay together. And then that brings me to the other problem of how loose those legs are. The hips, terrible. Then there's the hip skirts. You want to move the leg forward? No, you have to like get the hip skirt to move out of this tiny, insignificant, unnecessary hip skirt. It's constantly getting caught on this. It's very, very annoying. The lack of a thigh swivel, because of the way this is sculpted, that's all you get. That's annoying. The knee. These two sections right here are just wide enough apart to catch on the actual like thigh piece itself. You can see the chewed up sections right there as you have to like push it closed. That's not a design, that feature. That's just like improperly done. Oh, and then this section right here is like the thinnest plastic I've ever seen in my life. If I lift that up, look at how far down that goes. That's not great. This doesn't like to tab in all the time. His tummy is constantly just like, it doesn't stay pegged in, it just comes out. There's gonna be a lot of people out in the comments that are just gonna be like, you're just complaining. There's a reason the new age one costs the way it does. Then there's the feet. Their ankle tilts are weird and they're very loose. So if you want to get him into like a huge, there he goes, into a huge stance. Oh yeah, fuck off. He just sort of dies. It's not great. He does have LEDs in the thing, but I don't have batteries. That's not a knock against the figure, by the way. I'm not saying, oh, it's bad because it doesn't have batteries in it. That's just because I don't have batteries. Let me get his other stupid ass arm. Get in there, you idiot. He does look cool though. Like, I'll give it that. It looks nice. I don't have any G1 Legends toys, but there's Studio Series Jazz. And it's not just this downscale I have issues with. I've had that MP10 downscale for ages and it's bleh. And the Zeta Toys Mini Superion was a downscale and my god was that horrible. Now I forgot to mention, if you're seeing this in truck mode a lot, it means that it doesn't do robot mode anymore. A lot of hinges just sort of cracked and crumbled. Like there's one. There's another one that's starting to go. Just over time, the hinge on here is broken. The hinge behind this grill is broken. The hinge in his head is broken. And I barely touch this thing, and it just sort of deteriorates by itself. Like, I picked it up for the first time in years to transform it for this video, and I kid you not, that's when the head fell off. So, yeah, he didn't know. Now, that's not saying every downscale or upscale is bad. Hasbro has upscaled toys, and they've gone very good, like Studio Series Starscream, or they've gone just okay, like Legendary Optimus Prime. But some other upscale and downscale toys just don't last, and this didn't last out of the box. Get out of here. My dad picked it up. This is funny. My dad picked it up and thought it was used. He's like, was this used? Did you buy it used? I'm like, no, it's brand new. He's like, when did it come out? And I'm like, this year-ish? And he goes, well, it feels like trash, which is not a great thing for my dad, seeing as he usually likes the things I present to him most of the time. So with all of his problems, whoa, I just flicked the cord from my light into my face. Like this little switch brick here just hit me in the forehead. With all of his problems, his posing still isn't bad. It's actually quite good. It's just his stability makes it a bit difficult for him to like stand. There we go. Let's get him all straightened up here. So the head can rotate. It can also extend up. You can't see that. It can extend up so it can look down that far and up that far. The cannon can move so that it can rotate past these little wingtip pieces. Shoulders can rotate. They can go in and out, sliding off. You have bicep rotation. Idiot. Single jointed elbow that bends 90 degrees. Now, I'm not actually entirely sure. Does Combiner... I haven't tried this yet. Do Combiner Wars joints No, they're too big. They are straight up too big. That would have been funny if they were combiner wars compatible. Now, the arms here, none of it's ratcheted because this toy was originally designed to have ratchet joints. But because they've removed it because of how small it is, it's not working properly. He does have a waist joint. Hip skirts can all unfold out of the way to accommodate legs forward, back, in and out though. I don't know if you're gonna have him stand properly. Like I said, basically no thigh swivel, 90 degrees of bend at the knee, and then the ankles can extend and pivot and rotate slightly, which is a bad thing because they'll start to rotate and then he'll fall. So, yeah, he does have a lot of posing. Oh, and his claw. Each finger is, you absolute. Each claw is posable, and this rotates, and it comes off for reasons, I guess. It's also clear plastic, which is nice. Well, at least the attachment point is. But yeah, I don't like posing it. So robot mode is meh, but this Omega is one that doesn't parts form as much. Just here, you'll see what I mean. All right, let's transform this idiot by removing the arms, compressing them in. Actually, no, I just made a mistake. So if you want to compress the arms in, you can, right? You can do that and then plug these two together. However, they come with like this upgrade extender part that was made. And so you just open this up and sort of like, no, this way goes first because that way you can line up everything together like so. So you don't actually collapse the arms. Am I doing this right? No, this one goes this way. And then this goes in this way and then like that. And basically all this does is it gives you, compress it, a slightly taller rocket ship, which is nice. I do like that. It does make it a little bit more unstable because all the joints are exposed, so it does move a lot. Not great. That's a weird, yeah, I'm not gonna do that again. Now let's get Idiot here into his alt mode, starting with the tracks. We're just gonna unfold them and then put them off to the side. Now Omega Supreme has always been a parts former and will always probably be a parts former, so I'm not mad that he parts forms. And just sort of remove the core. We'll get to this in a minute. So you're supposed to rotate the face by flipping this up, and then you can just sort of rotate it around. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to. Oh, also, I totally forgot to mention, he comes with an extra face, a solid blast effect, and this man from G1, I think. I don't know. He's articulated, it's cool, but I don't care. You open these up, you bring this section out, and you sort of just bring this up and out like that. Pull these around, rotate the head. These tab into here, though not super well. Come on. Then you want, there's a double hinge right here. And you want to bend it at the top part of that hinge right there. That way the treads sort of line up. They don't really like to stay in place very well. And it's supposed to, there we go, peg into place. And that kind of keeps all this together. But it doesn't like to stay lined up properly. But there you have the weird tank thingy. All right, he's slowly compressed himself. Now it's time for this, and this is probably the most annoying part of the transformation. It's these legs. So we're going to take this, fold this in like so, bring that down, and then slide these out. And then you just disassemble this, split this, bring it up, disassemble this, split, bring it up, tab it together. It's on 2 hook tabs. You just gotta fiddle it into place. Come on. Oh, come on, you idiot. There we go. Fiddle it into place. I feel like I'm definitely doing something wrong there, but I'll figure it out in a second. Bring this around like that. Fold it down. Do the same on this side. Bring that up. Fold that around. Fold it down till it pegs in. And then we're going to bring this section out and clip it into place. I do like how this doesn't have to like fully parts form like the original, like the original toy to get everything into place, but it does kind of become a bit of a headache. Ooh, there we go. None of that felt safe, by the way, to do. Then you take the treads, fold up the peg that's at the bottom of it, and just sort of plug them in there, and then plug that in there. These ramp pieces are supposed to connect somewhere. There, yeah, there. And there. Rocket ship goes right there. Oops, without bending the thing. And then you put tank guy on, and that's Omega Supreme's alt mode. So that's Omega's alt mode, and it looks like Omega's alt mode. I still think he has the best base mode out of any Titan we've ever seen, because it's actually a solid base. It's a thing with tracks, a docking station, a rocket. It makes sense. It's not a man lying down. I love that. The cannon train tank thing doesn't sit on the track super well. It doesn't actually have a place to sit. It's just there. So you can knock it off, but you can still drive it around. It is neat. But, I mean, that's all the alt mode really has to offer. The rocket's removable, I guess. But even though all of this, I don't think it's worth even the sale price. And that's not me saying TF Safari is overcharging it or anything. This the average price. This is actually cheaper than most places. But this in general just doesn't feel worth owning unless there is like probably one reason I'd say buy it is if you're a Legends collector and you don't want to spend the $300 on the New Age one. The New Age one's probably $300 for a reason, and that's because it's not as floppy and flimsy as this. But if you don't want to spend that, the $70 on this is a much better option. But I just want to, I want to get the Generation Selects one so I can cleanse my palate of this stupid thing. But the Generation Selects one is 300 Canadian dollars. So I'm not buying it right now. But that's my look at, what is this? Pangu, Newt, Omega Supreme Blue Dude thingy. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.